Navi and Liquid have been the two teams that have just run like it, and they'll just get into the other team's
Okay,
background.
this is like speed drafting.
Well,
Navi...
but it's scripted, right? You from that open, like Navi knows exactly what it wants to pick, and Fnatic after mid one's Timber saw in the last few games, like how do you not give him that hero again?
Timber's really good versus Lycan though. That's like a very worrying part that I'm actually.
But there's a. Wouldn't you say that
Navi.
if you have Timber, for example, against Lycan, don't you actually want some kind of lockdown? Because during shapeshift, it's actually fairly hard to deal reliable damage to the hero.
It's not only that. Right now, for the Timber to be able to do well against this lineup, he also needs lockdown. Like Timber is a hero that deals a lot of damage. That's why
Edge owns Timber as well.
Yeah, you need a lot of lockdown for Timber to kill the heroes.
Now that's a little bit unusual.
They don't have stuns though. I'm worried for them. They have no stun at all for the Timber to kill heroes.
Yeah, no teamfight control.
And they just have really no way to protect the egg. Right.
They're relying like completely on winning their lane and then deathball. Like, if they lose their lanes, this game is going to be like insanely hard for them.
And they have a last pick that can, offer. They need a last pick that offers stun to them. I don't think they can play without a single stun with Timber. And obviously the egg as well. You need to be able to protect the egg.
No, I mean I think you're really looking at so Fnatic need their offlaner and Navi need their mid. They need the Dendy's
or
hero.
maybe they can actually do Timber offlane against the Lycan's lane. That could possibly work for them.
Okay. No, that's a look that we've seen. Liquid, for example, will throw that out with mind control and Timber.
It's quite flexible for them.
Navi think it's Timber mid, right? Because they banned DS.
Yeah, and I think the money is on Timber mid with mid one playing it just because of how well he's performed in the last few games. And I think there are some AOE initiators still left in the pool. There's your Tide Hunter in the pool. Void's even still left in the pool. Oh, I don't know about that.
Wait, so Nyx could also be their mid hero, like Midon plays Nyx as well.
Yeah, that's
or,
true.
like they can do it both ways, like both of them play Midon and Ohio plays the hero.
But in that case though, doesn't it make so much sense if they had the overall last pick, because you'd see Dendy maybe on an in-core mid and be able to punish that?
Yeah, but it's still flexible, like they could do whatever they feel like gives them a better edge in the laning phase. But you pick a Drow lineup and you have 2 melee cores, so...
Yeah, but if you're putting Nyx or Timber mid, it gives you a lot of opportunities, I think, for Navi to counter pick.
I like the Timber against the Lycan's lane though, like if you ask me.
So what's the pick here for Dendy? Puck's still in the pool.
Puck is usually a good pairing with Lycan. We don't see the hero that much. They definitely need a hero that can make space, or a fast-paced hero.
Queen of Pain is a possibility, but I really dislike it.
Wind Ranger?
Yeah, Wind Rangers.
The Dendy Shackle.
I would love if you do that. You wish you had the Drow on your side at this point if you're Navi, but not too surprising.
I think if
this is like it's crazy. This is like it's funny because if you look at the other 4 heroes that the two teams have, the Drow fits so much better with Navi than it does with Fnatic, right?
Yeah, but the thing for me is the Nyx makes it really hard to pick Dendy a pace-making hero, because I mean you're playing against Nyx and you can't you don't want to pick Queen or Puck into that hero. It's super annoying. But that might be necessary for the lineup to work.
You have to look at their lineup as well.
Yeah,
right?
they need it, but it's just going to be really frustrating for him to play that hero.
Yeah. And they did ban the Invoker themselves.
I like the Wind Ranger. The lockdown for the Timber saw, it's great against the egg. Dendy's very familiar with the hero, obviously.
It's really nice too because when they play Wind Ranger, they go like the 4-1-1, and then he just goes Max Shackle and sets up kills with art style.
But you're still playing against it. So the Shadow Fiend. This hero, a lot of teams are talking about this hero coming back into the meta.
This is really good though, because look at the heroes that Fnatic have right now. Like, who's rotating? No one's going to be ganking Dendy this game. He's going to be complete free farm. If it's Timber, he free farms. If it's Nyx, he free farms.
Yeah.
I think it's the same reason why you pick Shadow Fiend, or used to pick Shadow Fiend against Alchemist, is that the lane, you're just going to get like every single last hit.
All right, so guys, really quickly here, final thoughts. We'll start with Cattle Guy. We're going to have Cattle Guy and Drasco cast in the game, but give us some predictions.
I'm going to go with Fnatic on this one. Navi obviously put together their Navi-esque lineup right here, but I feel like Fnatic's a bit more in tune with where the meta is going. I'm going to stick with them.
I'm actually going to say Navi.
I'm going to say Navi too. I like their last pick.
I'm going to make it 3 in a row for Navi. I think they've got a lineup that's heavily in their comfort zone. But with that, we are going to throw it back to Cattle Guy and Drasco, who are going to be bringing you to cast. We will be back on the panel for Game 2.
All right, we're going to hop into the action here. We'll get one last look at the players. It's Fnatic, it's Navi. I'm Cattle Guy. That's Andy Draskell. We're getting ready to game number 1, sir, of our $300,000 Star Series tournament. We're getting excited.
We are, I mean, I'm already excited. I mean, I haven't seen Shadow Fiend in ages. And I know that a lot of mid players have been aching to play the hero again because it's just so fun, right? It's like you just get tons of farm, you get to do whatever you want as long as the enemy team isn't focusing you super hard. And I think that, like Winter said, that last pick was kind of a stroke of brilliance for me. I was not expecting that at all. I was thinking something a little bit more traditional to help control the tempo, but Fnatic have a very hard time pressuring this hero.
We'll see if it's going to be the case. Kind of reminds me of when I believe it was OG pulled out the OD just to secure like a mid lane dominance factor in that game. And while it felt like a bit of the out of the usual pick, it just fit in the right place at the right time. And I feel like we're getting same vibes for Na'Vi on that one. But yeah, we'll see. I already predicted Fnatic. I'm going to stick behind them on this one, and just kind of see if their Drow Ranger mid one Timbersaw is going to be enough for him here. Because I would feel like that if. Let's say the Timber, last time I checked, mid one was actually playing the Drow Ranger here, but if the Timbersaw gets to a point where, yeah, he is playing the Drow Ranger, is that a bit of a surprise? Are they changing it up?
I suppose. Maybe it's a comfort thing. Like, everyone's on a hero.
And Mushi's on the Timber.
I don't think you can give the Nyx farm priority to this game because I think it's extremely hard to do anything after you saw the Shadow Fiend. I think the Nyx was something that might have been switched if it was a different mid.
Oh, swing and miss on the stun right there. Dendi will easily pick up the rune, and both runes will go the way of Na'Vi on this one.
Very good stuff. He went for the dive, but a little bit. Either he went too high over the rune or he just mistimed it, but either way. Yeah, this should be fairly interesting. I mean, the Timber matchup versus Shadow Fiend, the first couple of waves are going to be a bit of a nuisance because Shadow Fiend's base damage is really low. But eventually what happens is the Shadow Fiend just shoves in the lane so hard that the Timber can never really play aggressive. And then you have to worry about Enchantress rotations and Vengeful Spirit with a Furion as well. There's just so many things that I don't think Mushi's going to be able to play too aggressive here.
Ohio top laning a bit of harassment, but he is going to be joined by DJ in this, so a dual lane setup, and you got to remember the Phoenix will benefit a bit from the extra damage that the Drow's going to be putting out there. I don't know if it's going to be enough to kind of be a problem for Jit-Ura here. I imagine that's the game plan for them, is to kind of force them away from the creeps, but it doesn't seem too deterred at the moment. Is this going to be okay for Fnatic, just kind of having a dual lane step in the off lane and leaving their precious Drow with only the, Dazzle to her disposal?
I think it's fine, yeah. Because, I mean, the Drow Ranger is going to be up against the Furion lane, so it's not like you have to worry about some crazy surprise, like General TPing in on you, like, for example, mid or top lane would have to worry about. So here, it's just kind of like, he's not going to be pressured, but Na'Vi are going to be free farming on SF. I don't think Fnatic's dual off lane is going to be able to completely stop Jit-Ura's farm, but it might force, Seneko or Artstyle to hang around the area just for a little while, and that might take pressure off of other lanes.
So the thing, though, in traditional Na'Vi fashion, with the Enchantress pickup here, Artstyle now smoked up, he is on the move, and it looks like his course is going to be set to possibly the bottom lane, but for now, at least we'll step off and grab the creep ball mid lane. Mushi taking advantage of that window of time when the Shadow Fiend doesn't really offer that extra burst of damage to force the Timbersaw out of the lane, so Mushi's going to try to assert dominance, if you will, but there's Artstyle to the bottom lane trying to really mess with the Drow a bit and force her out of her groove.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, the Drow is pretty much the only thing on Fnatic that gives him that X factor that says, okay, if you don't pressure us and mid one gets his start, then we're going to start 5-manning, and that's still a little bit of an issue for Na'Vi. They want a much more hectic laning phase.
They got him with the net. Heal's going to be there from 343, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Has to dish out the grave, but the chase is on. The Treant protectors are out. They're sniffing blood. Mid one creeps his way out the front door here, but there's still an army of creeps behind him. He says, get the hell back, and tries to get them off with the gust, but it's not going to matter. Eventually, General sets his course in, gets him with the last hit, and first blood goes to Na'Vi.
And this is the problem when you have absolutely zero deep push or disables. I mean, you just get tower dove super hard. And realistically, this is why the Nyx pick became extremely weak as soon as we saw the Shadow Fiend, because instead of being a counter to one of the cores, which I think is what Fnatic were anticipating, is the Nyx now doesn't really have a place to go.
Yeah.
So now he's in this dual off lane with Ohio, and it's like, okay, well, I'm a level 2 Nyx. I'm not really going to be able to contribute a whole heck of a lot, and I think this has kind of put Fnatic in a really weird position.
Yeah, and we could see DJ's seriously just sitting there to block a camp at the moment, just in hopes that it will just deter Na'Vi a bit. But you're right, I mean, with the way things are shaping up in the top and bottom lane, it looks like a full win for Na'Vi at this point. Though mid is still going nice for Mushi in the time being. Top lane, though. Yeah, in a bit of trouble. They do connect with the stun. They got the slow, and they got it down. That's going to be Lycan dropping Fnatic now, even thing up 1-1, but they get the responses. They will be able to clean up the Phoenix. DJ goes for the TP and will be able to make it out. Forces General to rotate to that top lane to be a part of it, while Mushi still playing with Dendi under the tower right now. 11 to the 20 CS of Mushi.
He doesn't, yeah, he's getting destroyed, actually. I mean, it's 21-2. But the more CS the Shadow Fiend gets, the more equalized it'll become. And eventually, you know, Dendy's gonna hit 5, and as soon as you get to that point, you just start double raising, and he'll be A-okay. But it's really nice for Fnatic that he's actually doing so well, because this lane normally, I would say, unless you get extremely outplayed, the Shadow Fiend will eventually win, like no matter what.
I was gonna say, as far as stacking goes here, something I actually see the Shadow Fiend will probably be a part of. I'm sure that part of the game hasn't changed too much. And there's not much to take away from the rest of his team as Rub will continue to be camped in this top lane, but doesn't mean he'll be able to do it safely as he continues to get knocked down a bit here. DJ's trying the best to make some strong use out of his Nyx Assassin being the bouncer for this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at mid-one's farm right now, by the way, as he's...
We might look at him die, actually.
Yep. He's got 6 creep kills. That's not great. His tower is already dead. I mean, Howl plus the Treants and having an Enchantress down here as well, they just pressured the safe lane to Fnatic so hard, and what's the response? I mean, Mushi's not 6 yet. I think in order to do anything, he needs Chakram at least. And I also feel like Fnatic, they need to protect the Drow, they need to invade the jungle to take the stacks away from Dendi. Like, they need to do so much right now to get their game plan back on track, and I mean, all things to Mushi right now. He needs to just go completely ham this game.
Yeah, and Timber does require a bit of a build-up. As you mentioned, at least getting Chakram is like the one tool in that direction, but they need the Mana Sustain to go behind it. He's getting close to the Arcanes, and then you hope to get that Bloodstone at decent timing, and then hope at that point with some charges you can really be the one to snowball. But you're right, they need to try to deter attention away from this Drow, because as we know, Drow already on a timer as it is, and if she's getting noogied and wedgied in this bottom lane out of her tower, then Fnatic are going to have one hell of a crawlback that they're going to need here. They'll keep them there for now as they have even more space with the tower being down, but that means that Na'Vi are going to be hiding off the radar here, and that could be a bit scary for like Mushi and company when they don't know exactly where the bottom lane has adjusted.
This is just the nightmare, pretty much. You lose control of your own jungle very early as Fnatic, and then you have to worry about the fact that Fury and TPs can be going anywhere. Sure, Mushi's probably not going to be a prime target, but you know, you start taking fights in top lane as we see here, and you can get yourself into maybe a little bit more trouble than you want.
Yeah, General could TP, a TP at the tower, and then you're quickly outnumbered. So they're happy to get some pot shots in on this Lycan, but they don't want to overcommit and risk throwing even more advantage to Na'Vi in the early phase here. So it looks like Dendi has obviously stepped off. He's farmed his way back through the jungle here. He's now top of the net worth because of it. And waits to see if maybe there's going to be any sort of interception of the rune at the top. But there's not.
He needs his bottle. He was waiting for his bottle. Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
He's got it now, and he's going right for the mech, Draskell. So
yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, their 5-man potential. I mean, I would even argue that given the heroes that Fnatic have, they only have 3 ranged heroes with a drill. So it's not like the full-on 5-man death push strat.
Yeah.
So I think that Na'Vi with Howl and Trees, with the Enchantress as well, like they could probably push just as fast. So that being said, it means that if they go for this early mech, and Fnatic have no disables except for a Nyx stun.
Okay, Raise 1 hit. The bird's going to dive away from here. Then he gets hit with a stun. DJ goes for the TP, and he's going to make it out. Ooh, not enough of burst to be able to bring him down, but Na'Vi will be able to kind of get their dominance back in this top lane, and Ditya with the last bits of the shapeshift will try to soften up this tower here.
Yeah, that was actually very, very lucky, because I don't think Fnatic had vision of top rune, right? So they didn't see the fact that Dendi got the Oh, they do have it. So that was weird that they were out of position like that, but either way, not getting the kill there, a little bit unfortunate. Still applying pressure, giving a little bit of breathing room to Ditya. He's still farming a lot better than the Drow, which I think is all you can ask for at this point.
Yeah.
And that ward's gonna spot out Mushi's TP, so now he's sad, just walking back to middle lane.
And he'll just grind some farm along the way there, but yep. We check back at bottom lane. Mid-Wan still farming his way back.
Oh my god, Mid-Wan's not even level 6 yet.
He's not 6 yet, so he's got quite the journey ahead of him. While you have General on the other side, almost level 7. Just picked up his drums too, so he'll be here as the opposing laner, but I assure that Na'Vi probably looking for a setup across the map that he's going to soon be a part of.
God, this is so hard for Fnatic. I mean, you still have that timing where, you know, you get marksmanship or you take 1 or 2 good fights, they could still turn it around. It's not completely out of the question. Just the laning phase went so much worse than they wanted it to. Like losing the tower so early, the Drow dying twice, hitting a very late level 6, General getting way, way too much out of his offlane. Like he's the highest net worth in the game. He's got more net worth than the Shadow Fiend at 8 minutes in. That's ridiculous. I mean, granted, Musha did very well in his lane, but stuff like that you just don't see very often, and he's the kind of guy who you give him a start like this and he will abuse it.
Yeah, committing in with the trees now, he's happy to see if he can force some other Fnatic members towards the bottom lane and maybe relieve some pressure towards his Lycan at the top, or open up some new opportunities for Dendi to rotate around, which he's currently hanging around this bottom lane. So he waits back and behind, seeing if they can bull rush forward and get a grab of a Sprout on the mid wall. They will be able to get it. Can they bail him out? He chops his way out from the tree, and with the response team there from Fnatic, Na'Vi 180 back. But they are letting Fnatic know that they are quick to be able to pounce on a chance, if given one.
I mean, that was, I guess, wishful thinking from Na'Vi. If they got something there, easily would have secured the tier 2 tower, but they just know right now that they have the advantage in general.
And he'll need to be able to line up
Does
all
he
the
have
shots. They don't really have a way to lock him down, so he can just run and phase his way out from this. Mushi, rather, will be able to slow him down a bit with the shotgun, but they're going to need a bit more. And just not enough chase potential from Fnatic right now.
4 heroes from Fnatic.
Yeah.
Trying to chase out there. And I mean, General can just TP wherever he wants. He doesn't even have to go back to base if he doesn't feel like it.
And the Nyx is the only one who could really stop him if he was even close enough for it, but that leaves Fnatic, unfortunately, just cats chasing mice. And Na'Vi are going to step away from this one. Very obvious that Na'Vi are comfortable being able to dictate the pace on when they want to take a fight and win. And top lane seems to be the next fight. Draskell, they're going to run right in right now. General pops up the Sprout. DJ's going to be quick to chop his way out. Icarus Dive will clean out the rest of the trees there. They connect with a stun. They'll burst down Soniko on this one. Fnatic get a jab there this time. But again, another almost near full team commitment just to kind of get the positive end of this skirmish.
Na'Vi, again, just... I mean, they'd like to play aggressive, and I understand that, but Fnatic didn't use any TPs to defend bottom. So trying to go top and going for like this super fast mobility play where you hope that the enemy team can't get there in time, it's just wishful thinking. Again, they have TPs because they walked to bottom. That's just like Dota 101. So a little bit of a mistake there from Na'Vi. They do have the mech now finished though on the Shadow Fiend, so they can go for Roche, which I think they want to try to do right now, but Mushi's already here.
Don't do it, please. Mushi's there, but Mushi eats a whole lot of damage, and Mushi gets killed. Don't you dare come close to our Roche. That was the biggest damage burst potential of Fnatic going down first before anything even gets started. Na'Vi gonna be able to easily sweep up this Roche and this Aegis. I mean, any reason that Na'Vi just don't continue to turn it up from here?
They just go straight mid. Like, they stop mid once push, they go mid, they get a tier 1. Maybe they just go straight for the tier 2. With the burst potential that they have and the magic damage that they have, they just showed how easily they can wreck a Timbersaw. And that hero just got a strength gain nerf as well.
So Nico, mid lane, you know, where does the rest of Na'Vi go from the Roche pit? Not hanging around mid lane, they will lose their support. Dendi's here now, TP's gonna get canceled, and Fnatic get a bit of a freebie in this mid lane.
That was actually so bizarre. Like, they killed Roche, and then everyone went to go farm creeps.
Yeah, we got one hanging down bottom, Fnatic Woods farming, the other one went up to Navi's Woods farming. You know, they were like, we got our Aegis.
Like, that mid tower is so free. You get Aegis up on your Shadow Fiend, he already has mech, you have Vlad's, like, just hit the tower.
And it's not even like Fnatic have big ultis you're scared of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Vendetta Nyx isn't like, is a bit of a dung beetle at this time, unfortunately. The egg is still level 1, so very frail, very easy for anyone on the team of Na'Vi to kind of crack. But Na'Vi kind of taking a slower pace here as far as pushing for the objectives, but it looks like they're kind of here now.
I totally disagree with them playing split apart right now. I think their lineup does so much damage that they can just take everything.
Okay, they see Mushi, they swap him back, the stun's going to be there, but the Timber Chain already gets him across to the other side. And as Mushi makes his way out, he's in their Pacha General as he makes his move in, gets quickly bursted down from Fnatic. They're going to fly out the egg from behind. Can they make it back to burst it down? They'll lose to Yara. They will be able to crack the egg, but they've already now lost 3. Fnatic open up a hole in Navi's game right here in the mid lane, and they take some momentum back their way.
I don't know what Na'Vi are doing, actually. Like, these scrappy fights are always going to favor Fnatic, because in a 5 versus 5, if Na'Vi just drop a sentry and start hitting the tower, like, Nyx can't go in. Mushi can't go in. All he can do is get graved when he like almost gets immediately bursted down. Dendi wasn't even there for the first like 10 or 15 seconds of that fight.
And he's your mech.
And he's the mech in the H. Like, what is Na'Vi doing right now?
I don't know, but it did feel like they were really not all on the same page for that one. Half of them committed to the mid lane, but as mentioned, without your full force being there, that includes all of your utility, your survivability, your sustain. That means Fnatic can take advantage of their heavy, quick-hitting bursts, of the Timbersaw, of your Vendetta stun follow-up, of your hard-hitting Drow, and there will not be a response from Na'Vi. But Na'Vi here now. Sentry's down, Draskell.
They could have done this, like, you know, 3 or 4 minutes ago and not lost, what, 4 heroes?
Yeah. And with them being as far as they were, they did hand over a small rubber band. So Fnatic are going to get a few extra gold coins from that one. And the Na'Vi train continues here down the mid lane. As the clock does tick on their Aegis, they're going to use it as best as they can. Top lane, though, mid one happy to kind of split the pressure a bit. Forces Dendi into lane. He'll take the TP out.
Now that was a good tower defense. I don't think that going for the tier 2 right now is the play. Even just giving away those handful of kills, it gives a lot of momentum back to Fnatic. Like the Dro's almost caught up now to the Lycan. He's making his way back into the game as quickly as he can, doing the split push thing, trying to force pressure on other places of the map so Na'Vi can't just do the 5-man, because that's what Fnatic are actually scared of. Even though the Dro strat is normally the one that you look at and say, okay, they're the 5-man team.
Na'Vi is Drow though.
Yeah,
they're with their momentum. They always like to go fast, and they always kind of have a timer on their back. They're not like your. I mean, it's as funny as it is. The Na'Vi Alliance Classic. I mean, Alliance notorious known for strategic late game play and being able to sweat out their opponents. Na'Vi brash, fast, quick, and here they are coming out to tier 2 in the top lane.
I mean, this is the perfect siege, right? Your Venge is in position to swap if needed.
Which, Dendi, I'm sure the eyes are on Dendi here. He takes a couple of shots, still has that Aegis, but doesn't want to lose that first life so casually here. Looks like they'll be able to secure the tower and make it away without too much of a scratch on this one. So, Na'Vi, do you think they got enough of what they wanted with the life of their Aegis?
I think it's still close. 1 or 2 botched high ground pushes and...
Oh, they spot out mid-1. A good
silence.
Generally coming from behind, but yeah, that silence means so Nico's not going to be able to stun, not going to be able to see. Mid-1 makes it away.
Yeah, but Fnatic can definitely pull this back still. It sounds crazy, but I just feel like they're playing better than Na'Vi. Like their idea of how the game is meant to unfold might be a little bit more clear than what Na'Vi did just based on, after killing Roshan, just not going straight for the buildings and losing heroes that they should not have lost. So if Fnatic keep getting these little pickoffs and can get item progression going on their heroes, yeah, they definitely still have a shot.
And Fnatic's one of those teams that rally behind, like when they get that kind of a morale boost, they'll keep going the up and up. Normally you see Fnatic like they're on the up and up and then things tend to head south for them and they can't really recover, but if they are given the opportunity to bounce back into a game, they're a team that's not quick to let go. They will ride the momentum as long as possible, and here they are at the top lane here. Na'Vi in the neighborhood though. Ditcherov very close. It's DJ who's stalking things out with this Vendetta, looking for a strike.
This is very dangerous.
Hello there. Gets the strike. Oh, swing and a miss on the stun though. Uh-oh. And he quickly walks away in shame. That's not going to be too good.
They want to chase this though.
Yeah, Na'Vi says, let's make a fight happen out of it, and suddenly a wild wolfman appears, and he's heading right for Bird Town here. Can't get Ohio, though. He'll be able to TP away. That was hasty and quick.
Yeah, no one dying is actually amazing for Fnatic, because that would have been a disaster otherwise. I mean, I guess they still have general, split pushing. He didn't decide to commit for that, but mid-1, it's going to force a TP reaction here, out of art style at least.
This is what we've been seeing from him for, the past 10 minutes, it feels. Happy to push those side lanes and deter Na'Vi back, and then he'll gust one and leave.
Yeah.
Bye.
I mean, that's another thing about Na'Vi's lineup is they really only have one person who can stop TPs. So if you silence that hero, you can TP out from everything. It's just a very good understanding of what he can get away with in the game. So mid-1 once again proving how talented of a player he
Pretty much overall, not a lot of stuns in this game. It's
the
Nyx and the Venge, and that's it. Each team gets one. Do your best.
It's just the pace of the game is so fast. Because both teams hit their stride very early on. Like as soon as marksmanship is available for the Dro strat, you start pushing. As soon as, General gets a handful of levels and gets some trees going, you start pushing with Howl. It's really hard to pick disables into those types of lineups because then you're just saying, okay, if we don't crush our lanes and rotate properly, the enemy team 5-mans and we just lose the game.
Yeah,
but
also,
both... go ahead.
I was going to say, you also can't get tied on too much by cooldowns when things are moving so fast.
Exactly.
Because then, you lose your tier 2, you committed on defense, all your ultis, and then Na'Vi will just run to your base. Same goes for Fnatic, so... It's a very fast game, and here we are 17 minutes in, and I already feel like if one bad fight, you could lose a Rax. I mean, it might not be that dramatic, but it just feels with the way these teams can just take their momentum. It could go that way.
The damage output is only going to get higher as well, so it's going to become worse and worse. So those fights, if they go lopsided one direction, you're losing Roshan, you're losing tier 2s, possibly even tier 3s. But Na'Vi are still in a very good position. They have a lot of towers left, so there's a lot that they can still, I guess, technically mess up and be okay. Obviously, you don't want to go into a fight and lose, but if they did, Fnatic would still take a little bit more time than they would to reestablish all that map control. So,
how are we feeling about some of the item progression here as Mott is showcasing us? That's the Orchid now being done for General's Nature's Prophet. Dendi holding an Ogre Club. Not too sure yet if it's going to be a St. Genashir or BKB. DJ, as we see in the top lane, a little bit of trouble here. Can he make it away? He's done for sure.
Oh, the creeps!
But the creeps swarm around General, and they are not friendly. They mug him down, and it turns into a 1-for-1.
Yeah, when you buy an Orchid against a Nyx, you're going to have a bad time, because he hits real hard with mana burn.
Yeah.
Because Orchid gives no stats other than int, so it's like...
That's true.
You become squishier against the Nyx. But for the idea of the game, I think it's still good. Because, I mean, you put it on Mushi, for example, forces them to either buy a Lotus or a Yules, neither of which he really wants to buy in this game, because he needs to be tanky. They need some kind of frontline hero if you don't have disables. Because you can't have your Phoenix Egg just dying every single engagement. So he needs to be in there and causing chaos, and he can't do that if he's silenced.
Why not just get like a grenade, just probably like another book, and just go full on the book, full on the rush?
I like the book, but at the same time, I think your pushing potential isn't really the problem. And to be honest, if you put like one Necro book on a support or one Necro book on Mushi, he's going to go out of mana, or he's going to kill it and take a ton of damage. So having two, I feel, is almost just overkill.
DJ stalking around Ditchara here in the bottom lane. Goes for the stun setup here. Can Mushi make it in first and down in time? Yes, they can. They'll take the quick assassination here and see if they can get any other stragglers. Arcel flirting around a little too close. Mushi decides to make an advancement in. Dendy's nearby though with Sonico. Oh, a swap for the ulti. Not enough for the finish, but they go for the egg, and that's not going to matter. It will be able to go off, but they will crush it down. Mushi gets the help from the grave. Mid-1 here now. Can he make it away on the back of a TP? Yes, he can. He's good. Back in Fountain will heal up. Fnatic going to be forced to pull away from this one. Na'Vi did lose Ditchara, but nice swap and ulti from Dendy.
That was almost the sick play.
Almost the sick play.
If it wasn't Phoenix, you know, anyone else would have been dead, pretty much.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Na'Vi are here now, and they're looking to go for the +1. They'll take the Phoenix plus the tower here. And going against the Drow, where they have, what, only taken 2 tier 1s, and this timing looks pretty good. Mushi gonna need another grave to stay alive at this one, but Mid-1 has found his sights, looking to go for Sunico. A 2-man stun locks him in place. Sunico trying to run, but Eventual Spirit not gonna be so fast. Blink Strike's gonna be there, and they will take her down. Na'Vi will pull off. They got their, oh, they didn't get their tier 2. Mushi will take that tier 2. Easy to deny.
And Fnatic again just getting really nice outplays. That stun from the Nyx hit 3 people, and then he just mana burns, kills Artstyle like straight away. I think the Ench actually needs BKB this game. Stira could be in trouble as well.
Oh, he just got back. He was taken out in that bottom lane, but yeah, he will have to pull out Shapeshift though to make it away safely.
Oh god, he doesn't have ult.
Never mind. Ohio, who has no ult from that swap back play earlier, got to get saved by Mushi, but now Mushi's the one in trouble. Uh-oh. No grave this time, sir. He goes down. Actually will commit suicide, but he loses a chunk of charges there. Admirably just trying to save his buddy.
Yeah,
Ohio.
that's so not worth it. It would have been better for Ohio to just die.
Yeah.
Than have Mushi lose Bloodstone charges. That hero is so important for their lineup.
Mushi's back again though, because of the charges, and he's actually going for a Yule Scepter here.
Yeah, he needs it. It's either that or Lotus. I mean, Lotus synergizes better with the hero, but it's more expensive. And the pace of the game is so fast that he might not have time to farm the extra, what, like 1200 gold he needs?
Yeah, there'll be nice little extra benefits, I suppose. I mean, there's not a whole lot here to even reflect with the Lotus, except for an awkward swap situation, I guess.
It's more just about, like, the time that Yules takes you out of the fight for a Timber is huge, because it's a lot of damage that you're not doing. And the Lotus also gives you additional armor, which is still very good against their lineup.
You need both, obviously, for the Silence Purge, too, and maybe being able to lock down or at least hold the Wolf in place a bit longer might help having the Yules a bit. We'll see, though. Na'Vi, get the hell out of our neighborhood, trying to frantically keep Fnatic back a bit here.
As long as Fnatic keep the game scrappy and we're not seeing like these tower sieges coming out from Na'Vi, they're still doing what they need to do. They're just trying to be as disruptive as possible and stopping from Na'Vi getting that siege, because we saw what happened when the Na'Vi went top. They get Dendy in position, they have the bench ready to swap. That's when Fnatic have the hardest time engaging, because they don't have a hero that can go in other than Mushi. And what happens when Mushi goes in, he gets Orchid, and then he has to be graved and TP away. Otherwise, he's just dead. So you have to have an engagement that's on your own terms if you're Fnatic.
So if Fnatic can find that, they keep taking these scrappy little picks, you know, inch by inch, or crawling themselves back into an even playing field in this game. But as the game goes on, I mean, do we feel comfortable with their team being able to scale against something like Na'Vi? When you're already committed for a Drow, Timber will be okay, but you already talked about all the answers they're going to have for the Timber in these fights. I just don't foresee it getting too much easier for Fnatic. And I'm the one guy at the couch who backed up Fnatic, and now I'm like, I don't even know. Draskell, I'm going to look like the loser here.
It's tough. It's definitely tough, because BKBs are going to be coming out on other heroes too. Like Artstyle will eventually get one. DJ going in here.
I mean, here's another scrappy potential pickoff if they can get it for Sunico. Will they do it? Yes, they will, but Na'Vi want blood in response. Here comes Ditchara. Wolf form can't get DJ. DJ's going to TP away. Fnatic though, oh, they are going to lose their Dazzle. They're very good at trying to get these bell outs, but okay, there's a Yule's use, but as he falls back down, Na'Vi will catch up and they will finish him off. Oh, it goes from bad to worse here. Na'Vi now are going to get the better end of that scrappy skirmish, and there's Mid-1 just doing his best to split the map. He'll pressure this tier 2, but the second he sees someone else come in, you know, he's got to get back on the defensive.
I mean, him TPing back right now isn't really even going to do much. He just doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Fnatic do against this? This is the worst case scenario.
Still BKB, still mech for Dendy. Na'Vi have a ton of fighting potential still there.
Oh, they're going to go mid, I guess. Tier 2 is still up.
Get a mid tier 2, fall back. Roche could be coming up in the near future, so you get that. You feel a bit more secure. And for Fnatic, you, I don't know, start thinking about complexity, smoke wraparounds or something.
Yeah, honestly, that's what they need to do. They can't keep letting Na'Vi get to their side of the map without taking a fight.
Okay, Fnatic, I like that. Two-man stun comes out from DJ.
Nice.
Mata burst from Mushi here. This is with the weave on top. They're going to be able to take Dendy down, or at least just his Aegis here. But Fnatic are obviously going to need a bit more than that. They didn't have to commit too much, I suppose. They still have the egg, which is level 2 now. But Na'Vi not phased enough. They'll take this tier 2, and I imagine they could slow it down a bit.
Oh, DJ, it's not where you want to be.
Oh, Na'Vi though, kind of coaxed in for that fight. Draskell in a bit of an awkward spot. They're going to try to swap back and save Archstyle, but that's not going to be happening. Fnatic want more. They move in, they'll get 2 supports for it. And as they continue to make chase, I think Na'Vi have finally found a bit of distance between themselves and Fnatic, and will pull off. But Fnatic, it's go now. Any opportunity like that where you can take advantage of numbers, let's see if they can get any sort of +1 as a follow-up to it.
It just goes to show like how important BKBs are against this lineup, because Mushi is doing like all the damage. He goes in, he almost he kills Archstyle, he takes Dendy's Aegis away, and then he reinitiates, and we saw how big of a threat he can actually be. So if he sees a general isn't around and there's no Orchid available, then he's going in. And if he can go in, then that means that Fnatic can actually take the engagement.
And as we know, Fnatic can take towers very fast. Any outer tower that Na'Vi don't feel comfortable.
Oh, DJ finds a solo
kill on General here. Bursts him down on the side. I mean, that's the benefit of having a Nyx going against a Nature's Prophet. Can't really feel safe split pushing those side lanes. And this is a blink Nyx Assassin too, so just lines up all the shots and we'll have enough bursting power to take out the Nature's Prophet.
And Fnatic are finding a lot of space right now. I mean, losing the towers is not really that great, but...
Look at the kill score.
Yeah,
you think Fnatic were winning this game if you didn't know Dota.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though, is like they're playing their strategy better, I feel, than Na'Vi have played theirs. Like, there was a lot of sloppy movement across the map. They got a lot of heroes picked off that were completely unnecessary deaths, and, you know, when you're playing against an experienced team, they're going to take advantage of that. And Fnatic have found their footing. Like, sure, they don't have, you know, outer 2 towers, but really the game kind of ends if you get, like, double raxed.
Yeah.
You know, like, even 1 rax, I don't even think is enough to just say, okay, it's over. Sure, Na'Vi might have technically better scaling with their heroes and BKB. Like, once the Lycan has his BKB, I think it's going to be really tough. It's a nice power spike for Na'Vi. But Fnatic are playing the better Dota right now.
Do you think from Na'Vi's perspective in their mind right now, do they feel like the game, because the game is even, we looked at it, you know, because of all these kills Fnatic got, do you think in their mind they feel like they're even, or do they feel like, no guys, we're still good, we're up ahead?
I think that they're both feeling like they can win. Like, both teams feel the same. It's like Na'Vi maybe a little bit more shaky because they've had a lot of really weird engagements that probably shouldn't have happened, but I think that Fnatic are feeling confident. I don't think there's any reason for them to feel like they're behind.
Ooh, okay, so mid one is going to go with the Maelstrom, probably a situational pickup because you're going against Nature's Prophet and a Lycan and an army. And maybe it's your best way of being able to farm it out and push it out, or even push other lanes in faster.
It's a cheap, effective way to increase your farm rate too. And if you feel like the game is going to go on for a little while, like Na'Vi probably want to wait for the next Roshan. Dendy goes for the Blink Dagger and the BKB, which is a little bit more of an all-in choice than I thought he would do.
Oh, DJ.
He can't go for this.
Yeah,
I mean, BKB.
Hits him real hard, but, you know, it can be just flustering to Na'Vi for now.
I mean, maybe I'm overvaluing the Timber in this game a little bit for Fnatic, because I think as soon as BKB is on Archstyle and Ditchera, the game is like incredibly hard, because then like most of your damage output, it goes away. And maybe that's why Fnatic seem to have like this this kind of shining hope in the game. It's just Mushi has had a very, very good game so far.
Yeah. And becomes more of hoping that they will make mistakes on the side of Na'Vi. I don't know if it means jumping him and taking him down before BKBs are unleashed, or baiting out BKBs enough of it in a long enough game where they have small timers and you can work around it, but certainly has not been an easy game for Fnatic. It's always the uphill climb, but
just imagine if their laning phase didn't go so badly. Like, their laning phase was abysmal, and they're still looking pretty good. I mean, even the net worth is reflecting that. A lot of the time when Na'Vi pick these strategies and they take like the outer 2 towers, normally Archstyle is like one of the top 5 net worth, but you know, he's kind of trailing behind this game. And it could be because, you know, you do have Ephirian, so Ephirian does take an excessive amount of farm, and sometimes you see General playing like a Bat or a Sand King or whatever. But I think him not having a BKB and being one of the main heroes that deals with the Timber could kind of be an issue at some point. Because he needs to be able to stay alive to kill Timber. And Nyx destroys Ench when you have a Timber as well, because you just open on him, he dies in like 1 second because she has terrible strength gain. And she needs some, like, she might need the swap, honestly, in the fight more than Dendi does.
Well, I like the way Fnatic are trying to prepare a bit. 3-4-3. If he can scrap together something like a Solar Crest, that could help against a right-clicking Enchantress or even a Shadow Fiend there a bit. But, I mean, you are right. And we'll have to see what Fnatic want to do to kind of prevent the Enchantress from being a bit of a problem and when all the BKBs do come together. It looked like Arcel does want to finish off his Aghanim's possibly first, so Fnatic do still have a decent window to work with here. And it looks like they're putting a lot of the priorities towards this bottom lane. Not surprised, as Roche is going to be up in the near future, and any huge win here could get you, let's see, if you're Fnatic, a tower plus a Roche. Jump in and jump right back out from Fnatic. A bit of footsie play here, but swap. And now they're going to isolate DJ. Okay, Grave keeps him alive. They committed the Shadow Fiend ultimate for it, and they jump right past those lines and take out the Dazzle fast. They step back for DJ, and they can't get him. He makes it all the way back and out. Fnatic very good, showing this game that they could withdraw from a fight at a moment's notice.
Can we just talk a minute for how many times Grave TP has saved a hero this game? Like, I'm not even exaggerating, it has to be close to like 10 times.
They bail out so much and surprisingly get away more often than not. Much more often.
But again, it's Fnatic have a very thorough understanding of what their heroes can do. Like, we can be across the map. Okay, maybe Ohio.
Whoa! And again, he somehow makes it high ground with the egg.
Oh, he missed the chain.
Sneako's trying to run in there, but he runs right past the danger zone. He could be going down, and it looks like potentially they could be taking both supports once again. Drastically, they will. So make it 3 all day. Fnatic again coming out big in the fight, and suddenly Mid1's in mid lane. And he's going to be taking down the tier 3. Forces General back, goes right back onto the tower. It's the back end of a glyph right here. And believe it or not, Fnatic going to be doing the first series hits of base damage. Mid1 could be a little bit surrounded, but it looks like he's still got the muscle power to just force General back and away.
He doesn't even care, dude.
You know, Dendi's like not going to buy back, it looks like, so he's going to be happy to do some work on these racks.
This is actually insane. Like, Fnatic are outplaying Na'Vi so badly in this game. Like, they just see every single opening. They're like, okay, we can go on this. We Grave TP, you know, maybe we lose DJ, whatever. It's not a big deal. As long as we're keeping the cores alive, the higher value heroes are always alive when the fight's over. Like,
wow,
this
look
is
at that money. It's a game that Fnatic should not be winning. Is that too bold of a claim?
I think that as soon as Na'Vi took the first Roshan, I think if they just went mid instead of splitting up and farming, that they probably would have won the game in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But because of the mistakes that they made and allowing Fnatic to get more items and then continually getting caught out across the map, and obviously Vision plays a big part into that too. And I think Fnatic's warding game has been relatively good. Like, they're fighting around their Vision. They know, you know, where everyone is at all times, so they know which engagements they can take. That's always going to be crucial. But they have played significantly better Dota, I feel, in this game.
I mean, a couple times it feels like, you know, I don't know if it's Na'Vi like winding up their awesome swap Shadow Fiend ult punch and then just gets completely shut down by a casual Grave from your Dazzle, but whatever strong hits Na'Vi dish out, it's not enough to finish off Fnatic, and they're always left in a position where they're lucky to get like one support who didn't happen to make it out on a TP. So at the same moment, Fnatic not afraid to catch anyone on Na'Vi trying to just casually push out these side lanes. Any moment that Fnatic could take advantage of numbers, and they go right for the objectives here. But Na'Vi know also they need to secure this Roche if they want to have a lock on this game still.
Even with the Roche, it's looking a little bit shaky now.
I mean, if Fnatic got the Roche, it'd be like, okay, now I don't even know.
I think Fnatic would just straight up win the game
yeah.
if they got Roche at this point. But this is cheese too, so I mean, this is it's one of the stronger timings that Na'Vi have had in a while because they have a long BKB duration on the Lycan. He has cheese. They have another Aegis on the Shadow Fiend. The problem that they're having now is the map is too split up for them. Like, their strategy revolves pretty heavily around being able to get into a siege position. So, like, hit a tower, have the Venge stand behind, you know, put the Lycan minions and trees in the tower and whatnot, and force Fnatic to engage into, like, that concave. But they can't do it, because every time they're moving across the map, Fnatic are finding openings with the Nyx. They're getting kills. They're forcing Na'Vi across the map by mid-1 split pushing, or, you know, even having who was the last time they got caught bottom? Was it the Phoenix or something like that got caught? And it's just Na'Vi are reacting to these things, and they're not getting their 5-man going ever.
I mean, gotta give the credit to Fnatic, just kind of mid-1 also, you know, pushing these side towers, and whenever Na'Vi feel like they get an advantage their way, you got someone like the Drow pushing on the other lanes, and they got to reset back a bit. And now they're going to swap back. Mid-1, though, happy to stand and fight here under his ally Chakram. So Nico hides within the trees, but Mushi looking to burst him down. Oh, they go right in for mid-1, but he gets the quick grave. Can they stop him from making it away? No, they can't. He makes it out. He lives again. Digirod, though, is going to be able to crack through that egg. Phoenix goes down. 343, not going to get so lucky either. He gets shot down from Dendy with the help of the Rays. Double kill for him. Mushi still the man left behind here. Him and DJ will both try to make it out in tandem. And it looks like Na'Vi will not make chase. So it turns into a 2-for-1. The first fight we've seen in quite a while where Na'Vi get the kill advantage.
They do get the kill advantage, but the heroes that they killed don't really matter that much.
Yep.
I mean, it's once again just not... And Mushi, right? Is he gonna get that kill?
Oh,
missed the timber chain.
Oh, and
Good force
silenced up, yeah, forced away.
But
Mushi.
he's going deep.
Yes, he is.
He does not care.
Come here. Oh, swing and a miss on the chakra. Come here, come here. Oh,
He
General
should-
making him work for it.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Benny Hill music. Swing and a miss.
Oh, the mine
Duke City got him.
That was nice.
Space created.
Yeah.
Except there's no space to really be made for on Na'Vi, unfortunately. Top lane DJ even still dancing around with Dendy a bit.
They can just play so aggressively because there's no team has to save us.
No,
It's like,
there's-
okay, the Venge is in here, guys. I can just TP out from literally anything. They need a Hex so badly. Like, the General needs to buy a Hex, I think, in order to be able to do anything. Or I guess Lycan can buy Abyssal, but that's very, very far off. I think he, like, just finishes BKB, and yeah, now he's going for Assault, so he's not even prioritizing the disable portion of it. He just wants to make his 5-man stronger, which is okay. I don't know how I feel about the Scotty, by the way. This is like... Scotty against Nyx just seems very lackluster to me in a lot of cases, but I suppose when a team doesn't have lockdown, having that extra slow to be able to chase people might be the reasoning behind getting it, and it also does make you a bit tankier for the siege. Those are pretty much the two benefits, I suppose, of the item, but personally, I think it's becoming harder for him to itemize because his team hasn't quite hit the timing that they were supposed to. So now we're in this like awkward late game where your Shadow Fiend right-click doesn't really matter that much anymore. I mean, he went Blink, BKB, Mech. So
yeah,
I was gonna say no right-click
damage. The damage is just not there is the other thing. And I guess you just gotta hope that with your Lycan and with your Kablam swap ultimate, it's gonna be enough and then get you inside and do some real siege work. But
yeah.
If Drow gets tanky enough, we already know that Timbersaw is gonna get more and more tanky as the game goes on. You know, Shadow Fiend could be stuck in an awkward right-clicking situation where he can't do a whole lot of work.
Well, we're almost to the point where, you know, Art Style can start doing a lot of damage. You know, he's got what, 1600 gold, I think, after his Dragonlance and Aghanims or something like that. Yeah, so he's almost to a point where he's got BKB, and then he gets a little bit of attack speed, and then boom, all of a sudden late game turret is enabled, and that's a really scary thing for Fnatic because he can lay into anyone. Doesn't matter who it is, Mushi will die, you know, mid one will die. It's a tremendous amount of damage, and I think that Na'Vi might almost need him to get to that point to be able to win.
Yeah. I mean, they have. That's the thing is like I wonder if Na'Vi like see it in a bit of a predicament. Like they'd love to wait out for the BKB. Will he get it in time before this Aegis expires, or are they just gonna have to sit on the Aegis here? Can Na'Vi sit on an Aegis while using it is the other thing.
I don't know. Like they don't have that much control of the map right now. Like you can see how freely Fnatic are moving around. They just don't care. Like whatever. You know, if we're gonna fight, we can get out of any of these occasions.
General comes in right as they make their own jumper. Dinger, and they will be able to burst him. They will be able to burst him down. Nice grab by that. And General's just gonna have to pop his own BKB.
He died so fast.
Fnatic are assassins, man. Hit and run on the bottom lane.
They're playing very well. You can tell they're hungry. Like they want to win.
Yeah. What can they do on the back of this takedown though? Dendy is scary close by, but Fnatic not really wavering in that direction. They're going for tier 2 wall. It's an easy pick.
I don't.
It's Na'Vi who
and there's no
actually
buyback on this Lycan either. They can deal a pretty good amount of damage to the tower. I mean, they're gonna test the waters. They probably don't know that he doesn't have buyback. But
free hits here from mid wall and the Dragonlance to the bottom lane.
Oh my god,
the right click, but jump in burst comes out. Fnatic, they get the quick grab, taking out the Vengeful Spirit. Dendy needs to reposition, sends out a couple of waves, but his BKB has already been popped here. While Minwan continues to siege from the low ground. Still got about 15 seconds before we get your raw Lycan back in action here. Will Fnatic stand and try to go for the racks? It looks like they will. This is very scary for Na'Vi, who had the upper hand in the laning phase and were really taking the momentum of this game, and suddenly it's Fnatic doing all the siege work here. 1 second, Lycan's back, and they lose their racks just as fast, Draskell. Fnatic, can they do what they've been doing all this game and just bail out? It looks like they will. Oh my goodness, where has this game gone that it's Na'Vi down 2 sets of racks and Fnatic are just 1 away from pretty much clinching it?
I mean, all the credit in the world to Fnatic. They played an amazing like recovery game after the first 10 to 15 minutes. They're like, okay, mid one died twice in lane. We lost our tier 1 safe lane at like 5 minutes in, but all we got to do is just, you know, split up the map as much as we can. Don't let Na'Vi get their siege going. all the Aegis uses I think that Na'Vi had were not quite as effective as they needed to be. Obviously, starting all the way back to the first one, that was, I would even say, a disaster. Like, that was so not what they needed during that stage in the game. And now, this Phoenix having an Aghanim set.
How many times have we seen Grave bail out someone from an Ag? Now you have an Egg with an Agnums. Like, this is going to be tough for Na'Vi to be able to get some easy takedowns in these fights through like the span of their like BKB window, for example. So,
I mean, at this point, I'm not even really sure what they can do. Like, they don't have any control over the map with a Furion of all heroes, and he can't go anywhere because the Nyx has just been chasing him around.
Yep, that's the Nyx's job. He's like, let me just put this in your head that if you go out there anywhere on loan, I will be there over your shoulder.
It's like you have to BKB if the Nyx jumps you, otherwise you're gonna die. Like, yeah, it's very annoying for him at this point. And sure, when you're playing from ahead, the Nyx is very bad. But when you're playing from behind, the Nyx is terrifying because then all of a sudden you have no lanes are pushed. It's not obvious where he is. He can play off map like 100% of the time. Oh, this is an uphill struggle to say the least for Na'Vi.
Yeah, this is where suffocation begins. Nyx dances around one side. Mushi can easily clear out the waves on the other. Na'Vi make a move out though. Oh, that was supposed to be a swap earlier into that ult, I imagine. This is very awkward for Na'Vi, and DJ manages to blink away. Oh no! Oh no!
Not like this.
This is not looking so good for Na'Vi right now.
No, not at all. I mean, we're gonna see how long the Roshan timer is in a couple of seconds, but I don't even know if it matters if Na'Vi get Roshan. That's how bad of a position they're in. I mean, look at this.
14K. I mean, the whole lower
the swing
part
itself
of that
is over 20.
Was when the laning phase was developing nicely for Na'Vi, and then picks came in for Fnatic one by one. And can you stop with that wrapper over there?
Winter has no manners.
No manners at all.
It's okay. I forgive him.
21 to 12 though, and 2 sets of racks down. Na'Vi surprisingly on their last legs here.
He has a Hex before the Furion. Oh boy.
And this is coming from a position where way back when it feels like we were saying, where's Nyx, where's his place in this game?
Yeah.
Where was it going to be? They obviously had to do some sort of crazy role swap to end up in this position.
Truthfully, if Na'Vi played the style that their lineup is predicated around, it would have been really hard for the Nyx to have an impact. But again, Fnatic knew how to split up the map. They knew when to take the engagements, and in games like that, Nyx can definitely work. So here we are, Na'Vi with only 1 set of racks left.
Oh, DJ just waiting for Digirod to walk out from the base here.
He's just being annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
well, they got the Roche very fast. Very slow, very low timer, and very quick. Na'Vi's gonna be without it, and they're already in this deep position, but Mushi spouted them, and now look at this. Na'Vi's like, I don't know where to go from here. We have Mushi on one end, they're at the Roche on the other end. Just find your way back to base, everybody. Get the hell out of here. They're trying to spread a bit. Fnatic looking to make their move. They spotted art style. They're getting all the people who've been left behind. The first to go down is going to be the bench. Dendy just admirably goes for an ult, but a quick egg is going to be canceling out the finishing blow there. He tries to stand and break the egg with the right click. He will be able to get it with the help of Digirod and General. So at least one notch going the way of Na'Vi, but he gets quickly swarmed up, and that's going to be it. Na'Vi drop game number 1. It's Fnatic who take the win.
My God. Okay, so that Dro was insanely tanky during that fight. Like, Digirod turned around after killing the egg and was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit. Oh God, I'm actually just dead instantly. And yeah, Fnatic, you know, you can say they played a very solid game. Like, they knew what they needed to do, but Na'Vi made so many mistakes this game. Like, it was uncharacteristic actually how many times Na'Vi were out of position or not really doing what their lineup was meant to be doing. I mean, you pick Furion, Lycan, Shadow Fiend, he builds mech.